Russia has just delivered a chilling message from the Arctic Circle. On the frozen frontier, where endless night meets silence, Moscow has deployed the Bastion coastal defense system, equipped with supersonic P-800 Onyx missiles. This is not a routine drill, it is a deliberate statement. And the West, particularly NATO, is the intended audience. In early September, Russian military units released official footage of Bastion launchers maneuvering across icy terrain. Massive vehicles rumbled through snow and ice, their missile tubes slowly elevating skyward as though preparing for imminent combat. The Russian Ministry of Defense described the deployment as part of Arctic readiness drills, but the timing and visibility of the move were far from coincidence. It came just as NATO forces increased their own exercises in the high north, signaling an escalating contest for dominance in one of the world's most unforgiving regions. The Arctic has never been just a wasteland of ice and snow. Beneath its frozen surface lies a treasure trove, vast reserves of oil, natural gas, and minerals worth trillions of dollars. As climate change melts ice at unprecedented rates, new shipping lanes are opening, cutting weeks off global trade routes. For Russia, whose northern coastline stretches more than 24,000 kilometers, this is more than geography. It is both an opportunity and a battlefield. Control of the Arctic means control of energy flows, access to new trade routes, and most importantly, a new platform for military power projection. NATO is equally aware of this reality. Norway has strengthened its naval and air patrols, Canada is increasing its Arctic sovereignty operations, and the United States has revived icebreaker construction while stationing more forces in Alaska. Britain and Finland, both NATO members, have expended cold-weather training and integrated their forces into joint Arctic defense plans. But Moscow began preparing long before. Since 2014, it has restored abandoned Soviet-era bases, constructed new radar stations, modernized airfields, and installed layered missile defenses on remote islands such as Franz Josef Land and Novaya Zemlya. The Kremlin's goal is simple: to transform the polar frontier into an impregnable shield, what military analysts call the Arctic Bastion. At the core of this shield is the Bastion system, officially designated K-300P. Mounted on massive 8-wheeled trucks, each Bastion battery carries the P-800 Onyx missile, one of Russia's most feared anti-ship weapons. The missile itself is a marvel of engineering, capable of striking targets up to 600 kilometers away, traveling at blistering speeds of Mach 2.5, more than twice the speed of sound. Its 200 to 250 kilogram warhead can be conventional high explosive, penetrating the hulls of destroyers and cruisers, or even nuclear, ensuring catastrophic impact. The Onyx missile employs advanced guidance, skimming just above the sea to avoid radar detection before climbing sharply in its terminal face to strike with devastating precision. In coordinated barrages, multiple Onyx missiles can overwhelm a carrier strike group's defenses, saturating radar and intercept systems. For NATO navies, especially those operating near the Barents Sea or navigating the GIUK Gap, the critical choke point between Greenland, Iceland, and the United Kingdom, this weapon represents a nightmare scenario. Even the most advanced Aegis destroyers or carrier defenses would struggle against a sudden swarm of supersonic Onyx missiles. Why has Russia chosen this moment to showcase Bastion in the Arctic? Analysts suggest three key motives. First, deterrence. By visibly deploying Bastion, Moscow is sending a stark warning. Any attempt to challenge Russian control in Arctic waters will meet swift and destructive retaliation. Second, signaling. Russia wants both domestic and international audiences to witness the display. For its citizens, it projects strength and resilience in the face of Western sanctions and the grinding war in Ukraine. For NATO, it is a reminder that Russia retains formidable power beyond Ukraine's borders. Third, strategic necessity. The Bastion systems protect the Northern Fleet, Russia's most critical naval force. Based in Murmansk in the Kola Peninsula, this fleet houses Russia's nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, the backbone of its second strike nuclear capability. By securing the Arctic bastions with Bastion Onyx missiles, Moscow ensures that these submarines can operate safely beneath the Arctic ice, guaranteeing Russia's nuclear deterrence. For Washington and Brussels, the message could not be clearer. The Arctic is no longer a remote frontier. American destroyers and submarines already patrol the icy seas, while B-52 bombers and P-8 Poseidon aircraft conduct regular surveillance flight from northern bases. NATO members are investing billions into icebreaker, satellite systems, early warning radars, and modern Arctic-capable bases. Meanwhile, another actor lurks on the horizon: China. Declaring itself a near-Arctic power, Beijing is expanding its fleet of icebreakers and seeking partnerships in Arctic shipping and energy projects. For Moscow, Chinese cooperation offers investment and legitimacy. For NATO, it adds yet another layer of competition in an already tense theater. What was dismissed as desolate wilderness is now transforming into one of the world's most strategic arenas, where climate change, resource competition, and military brinksmanship collide. The Bastion deployment is not just a military maneuver, it's a symbol of how fragile the balance has become. Every deployment, every drill, every test raises the chances of miscalculation. A single false radar reading or an accidental missile launch could escalate into a confrontation involving nuclear-armed powers. So Russia's Bastion Onyx deployment is therefore more than defense. It's about perception, signaling, and shaping the future of the Arctic. To its citizens, it demonstrates that Russia remains strong. To NATO, it is an act of defiance, a challenge to Western freedom of navigation and military exercises. To the wider world, it is a declaration that the Arctic will no longer be neutral ground. The ice is melting, the seas are opening, and the missiles are already in place. The Arctic is heating up, and not just from climate change. So the question remains, will NATO respond with restraint or with its own show of force? Is Russia defending its homeland or deliberately provoking a new Cold War on the ice? We want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and tell us whether you believe this is defense or provocation. And if you found this analysis valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of global military developments.